My wife and I have been subpoenaed to go into the federal prison system this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, no, it's not about tax evasion. It's about Mexico. And we're going there because we're being given an award. An award from the warden and the commander at the federal prison system in Rocky Point, Mexico. My wife and I started going to Mexico back in 2005. In 2007, we decided to buy a condo, thinking that we would sit on the beach and enjoy margaritas. Instead, 4 years ago, we found out that a pastor had been put into the federal prison system in Rocky Point for something that he didn't do. The reason for it is because when you're in Mexico, you are guilty until proven innocent. And he was put into the federal prison system, and we knew him quite well. So we decided to visit him while he was in prison. And we went there. But we went there with gifts. We went there because we wanted to have a hot dog cookout for the inmates. There were 455 inmates at the time that we went into the federal prison system. It was the first time that they actually allowed a vehicle to be pulled into the prison and unload all of this food. See, they don't supply toilet paper, they don't supply food, very much food. These guys do not get hot dogs and hamburgers. They set up tents for us when we're there. We get there at 1 o'clock. They literally close the prison to the outdoor public and allow my wife and I to come into the federal prison system and preach to these guys. And that's me preaching with them and praying for them. Many of these guys would come up to us and say, Tudor, we've been here 7 years. No one has ever visited us. We changed the hearts of these inmates to the point now that there's only 122 left. From 455 inmates to 122 inmates. And these guys are getting out of prison and they're behaving themselves. They're not coming back. In fact, many of them do come back, but they bring supplies for the inmates that are there. There was a pastor there named Nacho. Pastor Nacho. Funny name. But he's the reason that this thing whole started. Pastor Nacho got out last year, and I was able to film him on live Facebook. We've had over several thousand videos of him getting out of prison. And today, he is ministering not only to the inmates, he goes back to the prison every Wednesday to preach to these guys. This gentleman right here standing between his daughter and his wife is Pastor Antonio. Pastor Antonio's daughter wanted to be baptized inside the prison, and so did several other of the inmates wanted to be baptized. And that was done about a month and a half ago. Antonio heard a voice at night, and what the voice said was, just dig. He didn't know what that meant, but the next morning he got a few of the other inmates and he started digging in the sand. Just literally with his hands, not with shovels, just with his hands. And the warden came out and said, what are you doing? Thinking, are you trying to dig a tunnel? And Antonio said to the warden, no, I heard a voice last night that said to start digging. And the warden said to him, if you dig right here, I will give you this land to build a church. That's never happened in the history of Mexico, where they allow the inmates to actually build a church inside the walls of the prison. Antonio told me about this, and he told me that he got a hold of all the pastors in Rocky Point, 25 of them. And they all came to the prison. He had tables set out, he had food set out for them, and he asked for their help. And donations started coming in. One pastor said, I'll supply the bricks. Another one said, I'll supply the cement. Another one said, I'll supply an air conditioning unit. There's no air conditioning in this federal prison. In the summer, it's 110 degrees, just like it is here in Phoenix. But this is Antonio standing on a ladder or on a platform, and the church is becoming to the point where it's almost done. And this Saturday, we're going to Rocky Point, and we're going to see this church that they built. That was just sand 2 months ago. All the inmates got together and started helping. And wouldn't you know it, that several of them knew how to apply plaster. They knew how to do sheetrock. They knew how to do electrical. Everybody had this talent. One guy said, "I've laid tile." One guy said, "I know how to hook up the air conditioning unit." Somebody donated a 5-ton AC unit. This is the entrance to the door, going into the prison, going into the church inside the prison. They contacted me 2 weeks ago and said, "Tudor, we're out of money. Nobody else wants to donate anymore. They're all done, but we need tile." I said, "How much do you need?" He said, "About $1,500. So I posted on Facebook, "We need $1,500. But better yet, donate $750 and I'll match $750. And within 48 hours, we had the $1,500. These are the guys that did most of the work inside the prison. Here's the guy laying tile. It's become such an award for my wife and I, because we're such a part of this church now, that every time we go to Rocky Point, we bring in supplies. I'll never forget the time we asked for shoe donation. We asked for shoes and we asked for blankets. Over 850 pair of shoes were donated, just on Facebook. Close to 1,000 blankets were donated, just on Facebook. See, these guys sleep on concrete floors. There's no bunk beds, there's no cots. So now they've got 10 or 15 blankets that they've made beds with. And it's changed the lives of all of these guys in prison, because now they see hope. They not only see hope, but they encourage other inmates to just hang in there, because you will get out. And every time we go there, we encourage them and we tell them that you will be out someday. But when you get out, bless somebody, help someone else, and watch what happens to your life by helping others. We truly have made a difference in Rocky Point. They want to honor us this Saturday. They actually want to give us the keys to Rocky Point as a gesture. We don't know who's going to be there, but we think it's possible that the president of Rocky Point will be there. The warden sends me photos every day of the updates that they're doing at this prison. And as of today, they will be completely done. That is Toastmasters.